ties down for a Good morning everybody. It's Monday. I didn't bother coming in early this morning because of the massive deluge of rain just as I was about to set off. But as you can see from outside, that's virtually gone now and the sunshine's coming out and it's very pleasantly warm again. Right, this morning I'm going to finish these kitchen units, get the worktop fixed down and plumb the sink in. But that shouldn't take me more than an hour. And then I'm back on the tractor. So I'm sure you don't want to watch me doing this because it's very tedious, but when I've done it I'll bring you back and we'll get back on the tractor. Okay, bye now. And there we go folks. The tea room advances a tech level because now we've got running water. Isn't that sophisticated? Thanks to the No Leak Plumbing Company, i.e. me. Right, there we go. Isn't that neater? Plenty of worktop, kettle on there, cups storage, more storage, doors to return shortly when I go and get them. I'll have to go and look at a Talbot camper motorhome with a Peugeot 2.4 diesel in it to see if it's any good. Richard fancies it as a project, so that may be on the cards as well in the near future. Right, I'm just on with tidying up the mess I've made, so I shall finish this and then back to the tractor. Bye now. So here we go folks, it's actually just turned 5 o'clock. As you can see, I've got all the rust off it, ready for painting, which I'm going to do now. And this seat wasn't adjusted properly. It had a shim, if you can call it a shim, a false seat bashed in front of the proper seat with no flaming grease hole in it. So this ball was worn out to blazes, and the reason that had been put in there was because this screw wouldn't go right in, and what I've done is spent the last half hour or so with this super sharp scriber picking the rust out of the thread all the way around. Unfortunately I haven't a tap this side, but it's done the job. And it screws right in now and it puts pressure on the spring and the seat works. So that's that side, this end done. All bar putting back together with grease. This end is fine. There's nothing wrong with this end, it goes in all the way, so we've just got a new bolt into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this now and we'll go through the assembly tomorrow because this has to be put back together in the right way round. There's this somewhere, there's that, which is a clip which goes over here and has a felt seal on it. Right, well I think I've got some felt I can make a seal with. It just covers that seat there and keeps the grease in. Felt grease seal it's called. This of course was shot, which is why all the muck and rust had got in there. But these new bolts are superb, so we should have decent steering. Right, I'm going to clap a coat of paint on this and then I'm going to go on for my tea and I'll bring you back tomorrow and we'll assemble it and make a good job of it. Alright, see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Right folks, here we are with the drag link. Rebuilding this is the front end, the spindle end. Right, and the first thing we do is we put this seat in. Let me just see if you can see what I'm doing. Yes, you can. We put this seat in, fit that back. Now I'm assembling this dry. I'm going to later take it to bits and put some grease in. Right, Then we drop the ball in against the seat, and then we get the spring, the seat and the spring, put that in behind it, and then we're tightening the plug. He said, not starting the thread, there we go. Then you're tightening the plug as tight as you can, and then you back it off half a turn and put the split pin in. Now you see that's picking up tension now. So what you do is you take it in to about there. Now that's fairly tight. And then you back it off half a turn and put the pin in. And that's it set up. Then, over the top of this, I've cut 2 new lumps of felt for the felt seal that goes over here, because this, I can just pick this up carefully. I've just painted this and it's drying, but that clip fits over there like that with these 2 felt seals underneath it, right? And that stops the theoretically stops the water getting. Now this was a felt seal. It's there, look, and as you can see, it's a little worse for wear. So I've made a new one out of. In actual fact, this is the packing from the corners of a mattress we bought, and I took one look at it and thought, oh, that looks useful, I'll have that. And sure enough, it has come in useful for all sorts of things. So that fits over there, and then that clip goes on top of it, squeeze it into position, and that's your grease seal at this end. Right, so I'm going to strip this again now, and then I shall put it back together with some grease, and then we'll do the other end. Okay? Right, this is the drag link end. This goes at the steering box end, or if you like, towards the rear of the tractor. Now, one thing that it does say in the manual is that both the springs and the seats face to the rear, and that's the way it is. So with this one, you put that in first, and then you have to push that spring seat in and pop the ball down, and then you have to screw the plug in and do the same thing to adjust it. Tighten it up as tight as you can, then back it off at half a turn, just so that you've got free movement but no play. Right, so once again I've done this dry, but I'm going to do it off camera and pack it with grease as I assemble it. The only problem I can see here is being able to push that seat back while I get this in. I have done it once, but it is quite a tight fit, it won't go any other way, so that's the way it has to be done. Right, so that's it. So that puts the drag link back together. There's supposed to be some sort of felt seal over here, but there wasn't one on this tractor. It was just like it is there. So what I'm probably going to do is, I've lost my leather now. Anyway, what I was going to do was, when it's assembled, is I shall cut a strip of leather, thin leather, to wrap right round and overlap. I shall put a hole in for the top of the joint there and push it over there, and then just put 2 tie wraps around it. I used to do that on the track rod ends on 2 CVs, which are exactly like this, exactly the same, with the screw cup. In fact, lots of old motor cars, sort of vintage and veteran cars, used to use this type of steering rod end before they developed the modern track rod end type, the one piece compressed together that you can't repair and doesn't have a grease nipple on it nowadays. Type were developed. So right, I'm going to put this together, and then we can put it back on the tractor. Okay, bye now. And there it is, folks. Bound up with a piece of leather, strip of leather, hole in it, thread it over that, stretch it over that till it pops around the thing, and then just wrap it round, cut another slot in it like that, and some tie wraps, and that'll stay on there, and that'll keep it out of the rain, keep the rain out of it, and also will protect it from muck and crap. This is what I used to do on the ends, on the track rod ends of 2 CVs. Just wrap a piece of leather around it. And far better than anything else, far better than the rubber covers you can get. Right, okay, onward. I'm going to go and put this on now. Bye now. Look at this, folks. Wheels going back on. Now then, there's just one thing that I thought I would show you before I put the other wheel back on, and that's the seal. The seal goes on with the felt, that was good, right? With the felt first, and then the tin cover, like that. Right? Now, I couldn't believe this at first, and then I looked at the job and looked at the manual, and I thought, yeah, that's right, because it squeezes the felt against there, right, and it actually does squeeze it very tight. So when you first put your wheel on, you may notice that it's rather tighter than you think as you adjust it up, but the seal has to, the felt has to compress. So the best thing to do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to fit the wheels tonight, and then I'm going to set the tension tomorrow after the felt's had time to compress. Right, I've fitted the bearings, I've got the bearings in. They're using an enormous amount of grease. I've just put a full cartridge of grease into that wheel. I put grease in before, of course, on the bearings, but I've just put a full cartridge of grease into the wheel and it's still not coming out. So I'm going to pop to my mate and get some more cartridges of grease tomorrow. And get them packed full, but that's on and beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. They did rumble a bit before, they don't now. And of course the steering is super free as well. Look at that. Isn't that nice, eh? Nice tractor. Right, I'll bring you back when I've got wheel number 2 on. Oh look, I've painted that bit as well. Didn't that want doing or what? No, probably not. It won't rot through. It's nothing. It's a huge casting, but you know, for the sake of a bit of red lead, who cares? It'll all go in blue eventually. Bye now. And there we go, folks. That one was a particular bar steward, with it being close to the wall. It was a matter of a wood block, a lever, and press the lever down with my foot while I get the bearing. Well, I got the bearings and nut on. But it's on. Right? These wheels, I'll say it again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These wheels are extremely heavy. These cast iron 4-hole wheels are extremely heavy. You would probably be better off, and I would probably have been better off, getting a lift on with them. But as it is, I've got them on. And I haven't been crushed or squashed. So there you go. Right, well, it's 4:55, which is about 5 to 5. So, for Tuesday, that is it. But we're beginning to make progress now. We're beginning to make progress. We've got steel. Look at that. Look at that. The steery tractor. No play. Nothing seized up. New bearings, new pins, new swivels, new wheel bearings. Excellent. Right. Tomorrow we'll do more. Right, I had to take it up 1 notch on the axle stands to get the wheels to clear, and of course you take it up 1 notch on the axle stands and it's just a bit too much distance. That one was actually perfect. It went on from floor level and fitted perfectly straight on. That one wouldn't go on. It was too low at this side. So I thought, right, I'll take them both up 1 notch. Took them both up 1 notch, and of course that axle stand isn't actually on the concrete. It's partly on the pit, so it's lower at that side. Which what did it? Right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Good afternoon, guys. Wednesday. Wheels are on. Bearings are adjusted. Caps are on. What have I done today? Taken the battery off, cleaned the battery box, put some red lead on it. Taken the dashboard off, taken all the dashboard off, stripped the dashboard down, I've got to replace there it is, all ready to paint. I'm getting ready to paint some bits. I want to paint these, I want to paint that bracket, I want to paint the fuel tank. Then I can put the fuel tank back on and drive it outside. Right? But I want to get these painted because I have to put a new temperature gauge in there as well. And obviously it's going to be easier to paint them like that than it is to paint them with the clocks in. So here they are, here it is all stripped down on the bench. I'm doing this because I forgot to film any footage today and it's gone 3 o'clock. And here we have, can you see that? The Clear Hooters Limited HF 150, Birmingham, England. It's the horn. It's in bits at the moment because it's not working because as usual the little contact points in it are all corroded and grotty. But it will be. I did actually mend it once but I haven't stripped it down this far before. Very well made piece of kit. Right, that's it. I have to rush off now because I've got to go for a flu jab. So there you go. So that was Wednesday. That was. I've given the front another coat as well. That's fine. That's ready for painting now. I need to pressure wash it and paint it underneath, but I'm not going to start scraping shit off it now. I'll just pressure wash it all off. Right, there we go, folks. That was Wednesday. That was. See you later. Bye now. Right, folks. Thursday. I'm almost in the picture. Thursday. And I'm getting ready to paint some stuff. But I just thought I'd show you this because it's the insides of an electric horn. If these can be stripped down, if they have the row of screws around this side here, with a ring like that, you can strip them down. And they're very easy to repair provided the little coil inside is not burnt out, and this one isn't. So what you do to repair them is, here's the adjusting screw. You tighten the adjusting screw right down to take most of the pressure off the points, and then you get a little flat needle file, you insert it between the points and give the points a clean. That's the first part of the job. Then connect it up to a 12 volt power supply and adjust the screw until it vibrates, until it buzzes, and then you've got a reconditioned horn. Put it back together and paint it. This is made by the Clear Hooter company. I can't remember, I've lost the bloody cover. Where's the cover? Just a minute. Let me find the cover. I had it here only a moment ago. There's the front flange. No, that's not the front flange. I'll bring you back. Right, I showed you this yesterday, Clear Hooter company, made in Birmingham. Right, and it can all be pulled to pieces. It's all fixed together with screws. Right, one or two little rivets, but who cares? Right, quality product, worth saving. Right, and also authentic and the original horn from the vehicle. So I shall be cleaning all this up and putting it back together. I've just finished adjusting it and it now works perfectly. You can get through, this hole here has a rubber bung in it. You can get through the hole by pulling the rubber bung out, and that just happens to sit right over the adjusting screw. But usually if it stopped working, it's because you'll need to clean the points. It's a layer of oxide on the points that stops them. I've got the diaphragm there, which is in good condition, and the I don't know what this is called, the squawker plate that makes it, that resonates. So there you go. So I'll put that all back together, and when it's back together I'll give you a demo. But what I'm doing is actually cleaning parts up for the little dashboard which has all the instruments in it. And I thought that another thing that might be interesting to do would be to, here is the wiring harness with all the parts attached, complete with the cutout box. The problem with this tractor, electrics, was that it didn't charge, and I assumed that it was the dynamo, and although I couldn't find anything wrong with the existing dynamo, when you connected the D and F connections together, and put it across a battery, it motored, right? And usually if it'll run as a motor, it will generate. It'll make a DC generator. So I assumed that the problem is with the cutout box. Now I have had the cutout box stripped and rebuilt it and set all the settings to what it says in the book, but I haven't actually tested it out of the tractor. So what I'm going to do is, when I have a few minutes, maybe today or tomorrow, I'm going to set it all up on the bench, put the dynamo in the vise, connect it all up, spin the dynamo with an electric drill, and see if I can get it to charge a battery. We've got an ammeter which will tell us it's charging. We'll be able to see the contacts in the cutout box and the regulator clicking. So that will be a good test and also be quite interesting. So I'm going to do that in the next couple of days if I can. Alright, catch you later. Bye now. And here we go, folks. Impressive! Hi folks, Thursday, 5 o'clock. I've not done much filming today because all I've been doing is cleaning up and painting. So I've got the seat painted, cleaned up and painted. I've got the seat bracket cleaned up and painted. I've got the horn cleaned up, painted and rebuilt. And I've got all these ready for painting. So what I'm going to try and do is get these in blue tomorrow. Right, which shouldn't be impossible. Shouldn't be impossible. If I can get them in blue tomorrow, oh, it's gone all dark over here because there's no lights on. If I can get them in blue tomorrow, I can then leave them to dry over the weekend. The one thing I want to get in blue tomorrow, really, the most important thing, is over there. It's in the darkness. It's the tank, right? And I want to get that in blue because once that's in blue, I can put it back on and put some diesel in it, and then we can run it again. Right, and then we can drive it outside and wash the filth off the rest of it, ready for painting. And then it's all going to happen, I hope, really quickly. Right, I'll see you all tomorrow for tomorrow's fun and games on the Friday. Bye now. Good morning, people. It's Friday. It's wet. It started off really nice and sunny at Driffield, and I thought, oh, it's going to be a really nice day. Blue skies. But no, although it's fairing up a bit now, it's just hammered down. There you go. So the idea today, my mission today, should I choose to accept it, is to get everything at least into primer and the tank into blue and as many other bits into blue as I can. Right, so I can do the water pump, I can do the rocker cover, I can do the hydraulics, I can get this bit into grey primer and into blue, and then I can put the radiator back on. Right, because once that bit's painted, the radiator can go back on. No more faffing about with that. I can get round there to get all that into blue, I think, as well, and round there, because ultimately it's all going to be blue, but the dirty parts I do want to clean off. All these parts I've cleaned, apart from the black grease marks on the fan, which I shall wipe off before I paint. But that's all done and ready to go. So there we go. Right, that's my mission for today. I'm now going to crack on. There probably isn't going to be much video today, actually, unless you want to watch me endlessly flatting stuff, although, to be honest, most of it's alright. That's flatted alright. It's not perfect, but it's close enough for a tractor. That's flatted out. Right, so we're getting close to paint. I'm going to have to bag these wheels up, so I ain't taking them off again, because they nearly broke my back putting them back on. God, they're heavy. How many times have I said that these wheels are heavy? Well, I'll say it again, they're bloody heavy. Right, on we go. Right, it's beginning to come together. I shall put a dust sheet over this so they don't get overspray over it. It doesn't really matter, but you know, just to save hassle, I shall put a dust sheet over it. These, I don't know yet. I haven't had any inspiration of where to rig them, but I'll rig them somewhere. The tank is the pain. because really it wants to be that way up, but you need to be able to get underneath it. If you remember, I primed it upside down with a piece of wood in there, in a vise on this table, but I would really like to put the top coat on from the top, so that if I do get a run it goes downhill and I can brush it out, because we're using oil-based paint, remember, it's not cellulose. Anyway, let's crack on. Go folks, it's a similar rig, puts us all in one area. The only thing I have to rig now is the bloody tank, right, but that's going to go in blue, straight into blue, so that doesn't matter so much for now. I'll get the primer on these first. I'll get the primer on these, then these can be drying, and get the primer on the front of the tractor. Then it can be drying, and then while that's drying I'll rig the tank. Right, off we go. Bye now. Here we go folks. Just turned 2 o'clock and we're in colour. These have had 2 coats. No, these have had 3 coats. These have had 2 coats, and this has had 2 coats, no, 3 coats on the bottom and 1 coat on the top. So I'm just waiting now for that to tack off, and I shall put another coat on there, maybe another couple of coats on there, and maybe another couple of coats on there. This is just blued out so that I can put the radiator back on, basically. All the bits that are behind the radiator are now painted blue, so I can put the radiator back on and get the cooling system working again and get it outside for the final power wash. I've put a bit on the axles as well, but I've only really painted the area that I need painting to get the radiator back on. I've cocked up. I've forgotten this. So what I'm going to do with that is mix up a little bit of primer. In fact, I might just spray that straight in blue and see what it'll cover. All right. It's a bit rough, is that? It was very rusty, and I've had to. Did I have that sandblasted? I think I did have it sandblasted actually, which is why it's left a rough finish. But it'll be right. It'll be right. There's my radiator. There's my radiator. So this means next week I'll put the radiator back on, put all the hoses back on, get the cooling system working again, get it started, drive it outside, power wash it, bring it back in, get the back wheels off and the back mudguards off, get them off for sandblasting. But I might even take the brake covers off as well and get them sandblasted at the same time. And then we can paint it. And then we can finish painting it. Right. Cup of tea time while the paint dries. That was pretty good, that tank. I mean, there's a few streaks in it where the repair is, but who cares? Who cares, dear? Who cares? Right. It's looking good. Right, I'll see what I can do this afternoon. I can start to put the wiring harness together, see if we can have a test with the dynamo. But I want to get the paint finished first, so if I get round to that this afternoon, that'll be fine, but if I don't, it'll be next week. There you go, it's beginning to look right. You will notice that a lot of the paint on the mudguards and on the tractor in general is not actually the right colour. It's a darker colour. So there you go. Right, onward, cup of tea time. 3:25, and we're all coated up. Even the bits I forgot are coated up. So there we go. So Monday, this will be hard. I can put the radiator on. I can put the front end of the tractor back together enough to drive it. People will laugh at this because you've all probably seen Lord Muck driving without the radiators on. Well, you can do for a limited amount of time. I don't like the idea myself, but there you go. One of the problems with Fordson Majors is that they do occasionally get a leaky liner. And when they get a leaky liner, they lose water into the sump, and you see your oil level suddenly start to rise. This can also happen if you've got a leaky injector, which is putting neat fuel into the engine, right? But if that happens, you'll notice that your oil smells of diesel. So I'd rather not heat stress the block any more than necessary, just in case I get a leaky line. So there you go. Right, I think I'm going to have a cup of tea now, because I've actually earned it. So that's finished. That's nice and shiny. You can see the repair, but only if you get it in the right light, and at the end of the day it's only a bloody tractor. Right. Everything else is painted fully, and now it needs the weekend to harden off, and then we can start clapping it back together. There we go. Right, I'm going for a cup of tea. If anything else happens exciting between now and 5 o'clock, I'll let you know. Bye now. Here we are, folks. 4:33 Friday. I've just tried a little experiment. I've got some of the degreaser in a just a little spray can, little grip spray, and I've got this piece of plastic underneath here which is to catch all the crap anyway, right? And I've just grip sprayed it down and agitated it with a brush, and I'm just going to leave it over the weekend and let it soak into it. But it appears to be making a really good job. The grease and the crap is dissolving, and there is quite a lot of blue paint under there, which is very pleasing. But it's time I was going home. I've had enough for this week. We've done well. We've got it all in blue, and it's all finished as far as that goes. So next week we can reassemble, we can get the radiator back on, we can get the tank back on, we can get the cooling system connected up, and then we can have it running again, get it outside and wash it down. Won't that be fun? I only said I was going to do this about 6 weeks ago, but this time I really am. I'm really determined, because we're charging now towards the end. I can't really get these mudguards off unless I get the wheels off. Right, so what I'm going to do is bring it back in here now. Move that, bring it back in here, put it over there on axle stands, wheels off, mudguards off, probably take the brake covers off as well and get them sandblasted. Right, and then while they're away for sandblasting, I can get the whole tractor painted. I may need more paint. I can get the whole tractor painted, and I can get this tin work repaired before it goes rusty again. In actual fact, it's very dry in this workshop and it hasn't rusted again. But there you go. But that's what I shall be doing next week. Getting the tin work repaired and getting the rest of it cleaned down and stripped. And we're charging towards the finish. Let's hope it proves as good as it's going to look. Right, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. It makes a huge difference to me. And I'll see you all next week. Bye now.